Hello, my name is Colm Killwood, and this is my design matrix and my commentary I have for each type of seating I took a picture of. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but I'll go into detail on each one and the rankings I did for each so you can better understand without being able to see it. But first off was the benches in a pool at my apartment complex. I took a picture of that at night. I had the comfort of that as a 1 just because it's made of cement and it's underwater. Cost as a 10 because it was likely cement that it was made of, and you kind of have to maintain pools over time. The environmental impact I had is a 1 because cement takes a long time to break down and it's obviously not very good for the environment. Safety I had as a 3 just because it's made of cement, which is a hard surface obviously, and you're in the water, so there's potential for drowning or injury related to that water. Sustainability I put as 1, kind of similar to environmental impact just because it takes a long time for cement to break down and it's just not very friendly for recycling. And for function I gave it a 10 though because it's just a bench or a step. It can serve as both in the pool, so it's double function and it's in its most simple form, so I think it has a great functionality. The social impact I had as a 5, and then aesthetics I put as a 2 because it's just super basic cement step / bench. My second one was a chair. You can kind of see it right there. It has a really cool design. It's a thrifted chair in one of my friend's apartments. I had the comfort as a 9. It's a seat in it. It's obviously very comfy, very plush. The cost I had as a 5 because it was thrifted, but it still is really cool. So I didn't ask how much they bought it for exactly, but I assume it still wasn't cheap. The environmental impact, since it was thrifted, I gave it an 8 because at least it's being reused, even though it might not be the most sustainable materials. For safety, I gave it a 9 just because it's a super comfortable chair. It has armrests as well. Sustainability, I gave it an 8, similar to environmental impact just because it was thrifted, it's getting reused. Function was a 9 because it just serves the purpose of being a comfortable chair, and especially in the setting of my friend's apartment, just right in front of their TV. It's perfect for just relaxing in and watching a movie. For social impact, I gave it an 8 just because of what I was talking about with reusing and thrifting, and the aesthetics, it was a 10 because I thought it fit really well into my friend's apartment. My third thing was stools in a local VRBO I was at with my family over spring break. The comfort, I gave it a 3 because it was backless stools and they had a very smooth and uncomfortable wood spot where you actually sat and then metal underneath, so it just wasn't very comfortable at all. Cost, I had it as a 7 just because of the metal parts, and I just was knowing how expensive a lot of higher end stools like that alongside islands are. I put it as a 7 for the cost. Environmental impact, I gave it a 4 just because of the metal parts of it. It probably isn't great for the environment. For safety, I gave it a 4 because it's backless and they spin around too, so it's really easy to fall off or injure yourself, especially if you're older because they're pretty high off the ground too. For sustainability, I gave it a 4 just because of that metal that's in the design. Function, I gave it a 7 because they are pretty effective at being just a stool up along the island for eating at or just talking while someone's making dinner. Social impact, I gave it a 5, and aesthetics, I gave it an 8 because it did match pretty well with the design of the kitchen in the VRBO. Fourth was a chair at a Thai restaurant. You can kind of see it. It's this one right here. The comfort, I did sit in it, it was an 8. It's a pretty comfortable chair, pretty plush, like the one that was in my friend's apartment. The cost, I'm assuming, is around an 8 because I don't think it's thrifted, and it was a chain restaurant, so I'm sure they have many of them. Environmental impact, I gave it a 5. Safety, I gave it a 10 because there was big armrests and it was super soft. Sustainability, I gave it a 6. Function, I gave it a 9 because it was just a chair like right in the entryway of the restaurant, and it was a nice place to relax. We waited for our table. Social impact, I gave it a 5. And aesthetics, I gave it a 6 because it honestly didn't match the vibe of the restaurant too much because they had a whole Thai theme going on and the chair didn't really match that too much. And lastly was walls for sitting around a fountain near my apartment. The comfort was a 2 because they were literally just straight cement walls, as you can see right there. The cost I had is a 2 because it's just cement walls and there's a much cheaper ways of having seating around a fountain. Environmental impact, I give it a 2 because of the materials it's made of. Safety, a 2 because there's no back and no real seat, honestly. Sustainability, 2 because it's made of cement. Function, 5 because it does work, but not so greatly as a seat. Social impact, a 5, and aesthetics as a 1.